Snark Squad, babes, welcome back. Self-Care Friday is, still in full effect.
It is very much in effect.
And for anyone wondering how we managed to record 2 sessions this afternoon, well, babes, this is why. We are committed to the chaos.
Oh, we are entirely committed.
Let's be clear. The wine is absolutely on deck. Cheers.
Cheers to the squad. And honestly, we need every single drop in these glasses today.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we aren't just sitting around. We have a mission today.
Yes, we do.
Today, we are breaking down the absolute financial, moral, and frankly, psychological wreckage of Your Friends and Neighbors Season 2.
Episode 3.
Right. We were never supposed to get this old.
Such a good title.
It is. And the level of delusion we are about to unpack, it requires a heavily poured Cabernet.
But the delusion is going to be the absolute theme of this recap, for sure.
Always is.
But wait, before we even get into the mess of Coop and Ashe, we need to talk about something.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Because Babe's Candlelight concerts.
Oh, yes. I know where this is going.
You were on Facebook.
I was.
Yes, we know. Only old people use it. We don't want to hear it.
I will defend my Facebook scrolling to the absolute grave. Okay.
But you stumbled upon a Candlelight Drake tribute concert.
I did.
In May. Pause. And babes, we are going.
We are 100% going. Because sometimes the algorithm bypasses all the, political rants and just delivers pure, unadulterated gold.
Literally.
I need you to visualize the aesthetic potential here.
I'm already visualizing it.
We are talking about a string quartet.
Yes.
We are talking about thousands of tiny, flickering LED candles.
Because obviously fire codes won't let us have real flames in these venues anymore.
Exactly. And we are talking about the instrumental version of Hotline Bling echoing through a historic building.
I have chills.
It is high culture crashing violently into toxic X energy, and I am entirely seated for the experience.
Let's be honest, okay? Drake, Loki, one of our favorite rappers.
Oh, absolutely.
I am fully in my feelings just thinking about the vibrations of a cello playing those beats.
It's going to be intense.
Babes, if they play Marvin's Room on a standalone viola, I am going to have a full, dramatic, emotional breakdown in row G.
Yeah, we need to set some firm logistical boundaries on the crying in public, please.
I will be weeping into my overpriced outfit. I can't control it.
Try to control it.
The emotional attachment I have to that man's discography is entirely unreasonable, but I refuse to apologize for it.
I guess.
It just brings me back to a very specific, chaotic time in my life,
Right. But analytically speaking, we do have to rank the discography for this specific classical format.
Okay, let's hear the ranking.
If the quartet doesn't lean heavily into the Take Care and Nothing Was the Same eras, I will be writing a sternly worded email to the organizers.
Oh, I will co-sign that email.
I do not need a classical Beethoven-esque rendition of his recent club tracks.
No, absolutely not.
I need the moody, introspective 2011 winter in Toronto vibes.
Yes. Imagine the violin swelling right as the beat would normally drop on. Hold on. We're going home.
See, that is exactly what I'm talking about.
It is going to transcend a regular Friday night. It's going to be a spiritual experience.
A very expensive spiritual experience, but yeah.
Spiritual, messy, incredibly aesthetic experience. But wait, here's the twist.
Oh, right. The venue.
This is the part that has me completely spiraling. It's happening at one of the prettiest libraries in the city.
It's gorgeous.
Pause.
Yeah.
And, babes, this means we need to enter our book talk era.
I can literally see the aesthetic delusion forming in your eyes right now across the table.
I am already online looking up fake blue light glasses with the thin wire frames.
Of course you are.
I need to look like I casually read dark academia and classic literature on rainy Sunday afternoons.
Even though you don't?
I am actively setting reading goals on Goodreads that I have absolutely no intention of meeting.
Not at all.
I am going to buy hardcovers strictly based on whether the spine color matches my living room palette.
This is getting unhinged.
I am manifesting an intellectual vibe.
You haven't finished a physical paper book since before the pandemic, but please go off.
Stop calling me out.
The sheer force of your delusion is honestly inspiring at this point.
Thank you.
You are going to walk into this historic library past rows of actual tangible human knowledge just to sip smuggled wine out of a thermos.
It's going to be in a very chic thermos.
Right. And listen to a classically trained cellist play God's plan.
Exactly.
The juxtaposition is truly a work of art.
Do not ruin my fantasy. I am fully leaning into the dark academia aesthetic.
Lean away.
But wait, speaking of the aesthetic of libraries, Childhood memory unlocked.
The boy.
Babes, when I was younger, I owed hundreds of dollars to the library. Pause.
Wait, literally, logistically, how does a child owe hundreds of dollars?
I was a menace.
The late fees in the 90s and early 2000s were like 10 cents a day.
I know.
You would have had to actively hoard half the inventory to rack up that kind of debt.
Well, I was a menace to the municipal system. I was pure chaos.
Clearly.
I would go in, check out a massive stack of chapter books.
Yeah.
We were talking Animorphs, Goosebumps, literally everything I could carry.
Right.
I would bring them home, read maybe 2 of them, shove the rest under my bed, and completely dissociate from the reality of due dates.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Months would go by.
Years.
Years. Yes. And the fear, babes. The absolute paralyzing terror of the librarians.
I mean, they were scary.
They felt like the FBI to my 10-year-old brain. I literally mapped out walking routes in my hometown just to avoid making eye contact with the brick building.
That is deeply unhinged.
I was convinced they had a mugshot of me taped behind the checkout desk.
It's incredibly relatable, though.
Right.
To be fair, public libraries back in the day had a very specific, intimidating, institutional energy.
So intimidating. You whispered or you died.
Exactly. You whispered or you faced the wrath of a woman who held the power of knowledge in her hands.
Literally.
But my toxic childhood trait wasn't hoarding books, it was the CDs.
Oh my gosh, the CDs.
I would go in and check out the absolute maximum limit of CDs allowed per library card.
Because that was cutting-edge technology.
It really was. I'd take them home, whip the audio to my computer, and then I'd return the plastic cases with the wrong discs in them.
No.
Just absolute anarchy.
You were evil.
I am pretty sure there is still a retired librarian out there in the world cursing my existence.
Oh, for sure.
Because she opened a Beethoven symphony case and found a scratched, sticky copy of Destiny's Child Survivor.
The absolute chaos of our youth. We were active threats to the public literary and media systems.
We really were the villains of the community.
But fast forward, because now we don't go to libraries.
We do not.
We window shop at Louis Vuitton. Pause.
It's a huge shift.
Growth, delusion, luxury mindset.
Look at our character arcs, honestly.
From fleeing municipal late fees and swapping CDs to walking into high-end boutiques.
Making direct eye contact with the security guards.
Yes.
And confidently browsing through $10,000 bags we have absolutely no intention of buying.
The audacity has simply evolved.
It is a lifestyle at this point.
We are manifesting the wealth, which, conceptually, transitions us perfectly to the snack jack.
Let's talk about the snack.
Because, babes, we are eating pizza dip.
We are.
And no, we're not wearing Rolexes.
Sadly.
But if someone is method acting this show and has some to unload, hit us up.
DMs are open, but I am nothing if not practical about our snacks.
You are?
The caloric density of this pizza dip is astronomical.
I don't want to hear it.
It is essentially an entire pizza compressed into a small cast iron skillet.
That's why it's so good.
But the cheese pull.
Oh my God, the cheese pull.
It's doing something profound to my brain chemistry right now. It is the ultimate fantasy of a Friday night.
I am completely obsessed with it. It is giving gooey, cheesy, chaotic goodness.
It really is.
It pairs perfectly with the red wine.
Yeah.
And more importantly, it pairs perfectly with the delusion of wealth we are about to discuss.
Exactly. So pour another glass. Snark's cool.
I'm poured up.
Because as we sit here eating pizza dip and pretending we have a luxury mindset, we need to dive into a group of characters who actually have the wealth.
But absolutely zero morals.
Zero. Let's get into the recap of the show.
Oh my God. I need to take a deep breath because my heart rate is already spiking.
It was an intense episode.
We have to start with the immediate fallout from episode 2. Let's talk about the trap.
The trap was brilliant.
Let's talk about the sheer, unadulterated hubris of Andrew Cooper.
He really looked in the mirror, put on a dark jacket, and thought he was Danny Ocean.
He did. He's been golfing, watching old classic movies, drinking his little cocktails.
Living his life.
And treating high-end burglary like a fun, quirky hobby to cure his midlife crisis.
A very dangerous hobby.
And the absolute embarrassment of the opening scene.
Oh, it was brutal.
Ash literally sits Coop down in his sleek, terrifying office, presses play, and shows Coop the high-definition video of him stealing Ash's first edition House of Mirth book.
Just humiliating.
Babes, the secondhand embarrassment. He didn't just get caught. He got caught on hardwired IPRO cameras.
That specific detail, the hardwired cameras, is what makes this entire sequence so brilliant from a writing perspective.
Right.
Coop walked into that house thinking he was pulling a fast one on a regular, oblivious, ultra-rich guy.
Just a normal rich dude.
He treated it like a game. But Ashe isn't just wealthy. Ashe is living with billionaire-level, cartel-adjacent paranoia.
He is terrifying.
He doesn't rely on standard Wi-Fi security systems that can be jammed. He has hardwired closed-circuit cameras installed inside the interior of his own house.
Who does that?
Ashe literally mentions that he has serious enemies because of the nature of his business.
There are quotes around business.
Exactly. The brutal irony is that Ashe didn't even set this trap for Coop specifically.
No.
Coop just arrogantly wandered into a snare that was meant to catch actual assassins or federal agents.
It is wild.
Yeah.
And it makes me question Coop's supposed intelligence.
No, he's book smart.
But if Coop is such a genius, he's this financial whiz, he supposedly knows how the 1% operates. He manages massive portfolios.
Right.
Why on earth is he robbing an ultra-rich guy who operates literal, sketchy shipping containers without a ski mask?
It's pure arrogance.
Just walking around barefaced in a mansion. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Is his midlife crisis arrogance that blinding?
It is 100% arrogance, but it's a very specific type of arrogance.
What do you mean?
It's the arrogance of a white-collar man who has never faced physical consequences in his life.
Oh, that is so true.
He's been getting away with these little thefts, so he got sloppy. He partnered up with Elena, the housekeeper. He got distracted by the thrill of it, and he thought his class status protected him from suspicion.
He really thought he was invincible.
But what fascinated me more than Coop's sloppiness was Ashe's reaction.
Ashe was chilling.
Ashe doesn't panic. He doesn't yell. He doesn't call the cops.
Yep.
He just calmly looks at Coop, calls him a pro, and treats the burglary like a quirky resume skill.
It was so unnerving.
And his demand, he just wants the book back. Why? Because it was a gift from his dead wife.
It's just the book back.
Right.
Totally innocent.
Babes, let me give the squad a life rule.
Please do.
When someone who looks as unnervingly handsome as James Marsden smiles at you with completely dead eyes and asks for a favor instead of calling the police, you run.
You run fast.
You do not engage, you pack a bag, you change your name, and you move to a non-extradition country.
Exactly. Because in the world of men like Ashe, a favor is never just a favor.
Never.
It is a collar slipping around your neck. The book is just the leash he's going to use to drag Coop wherever he wants.
So Coop is officially sweating.
Sweating through his suit.
The reality of what he stepped into is dawning on him. He scrambles to go see his fence, Lou. Lou! And we need to take a moment for Lou because we absolutely love to hate her.
The actress is serving everything.
The aesthetic of her antique shop, the dismissive way she speaks, she is an icon.
Total icon. Coop goes to her, practically hyperventilating. Like, hey, bestie, slight change of plans. I need that book back immediately.
And Lou doesn't even blink.
Not a single blink.
She just stares at him and casually mentions that she already sold it.
I was screaming.
For $200,000.
Which creates an immediate catastrophic math problem for Coop.
Oh, the math is bad.
Because Lou only gave Coop $100,000 for the book in the first place.
Right. So even if Coop gives her back every single penny he made from the crime, he is still short $100,000 just to break even.
And the math gets so much worse.
It does.
Because now this mysterious, anonymous buyer wants $300,000 to part with the book.
The inflation is crazy.
Babes, the way my stomach would drop through the floor. Coop is completely leveraged.
He is cornered.
He has to scrape together this cash. He manages to gather $150,000 just to take to this high-stakes lunch meeting to get half the deal done and secure the book.
The tension in this restaurant scene is palpable.
I couldn't breathe. He walks in. He's looking for the mysterious buyer. And who is sitting at the table waiting for him?
The reveal of the century?
Yes.
The camera pans around, and it is Ashe.
I was pacing my living room.
It was brilliant.
Ashe bought his own stolen book back, using Lou as a proxy, just to make Coop sweat, panic, and pay him for the privilege of being blackmailed.
It is the ultimate psychological power move.
This is the toxic energy I live for in television. The level of petty, wealthy, calculated villainy is completely off the charts.
Let's break down the mechanics of what Ashe did here, logistically.
Please.
Ashe didn't orchestrate the initial theft,
Right.
but the absolute second Coop made the mistake of stealing that book, Ashe capitalized on it with terrifying speed.
He didn't waste a minute.
He let Coop run around town, panic, liquidate assets, leverage his own cash, and show up to a meeting just to realize he's been playing checkers while Ashe is playing three-dimensional chess. Ashe looks across the table and basically communicates, "You aren't just going to fix the robbery you committed against me. You're going to pay me tribute for the inconvenience."
It's sick. It's twisted.
Yeah.
And I cannot look away from it.
It makes for great TV.
Because Ashe doesn't just want petty cash. He is a billionaire.
Yeah, the $150,000 is literally pocket change to him.
Exactly. It's the psychological break he was looking for. He wants Coop broken down and compliant because what he really wants is a corporate money mule.
Which brings us perfectly to the master plan.
Yes, the finance lesson for the Snark Squad.
Because this is the exact moment the show pivots from a quirky, suburban, desperate housewives burglary romp into full-blown, gritty Ozark territory.
The tone shifted so fast.
Ashe drops the real demand. He wants Coop to use his financial expertise to move $400 million
$400 million.
into Jack Bailey's massive hedge fund, Excelsior.
Okay, this is where I need you to translate the finance bro dialogue for us.
I can do that.
Because they throw around so many acronyms in this scene. Ashe says he is an SDN on the OFAC blacklist.
Right.
When I first heard that, I was like, is his credit card just declined?
Yeah.
Did he bounce a check at a luxury car dealership? What does this actually mean for a billionaire?
It is so much more severe than a bad credit score or a declined black card.
Okay, so what is it?
OFAC stands for the Office of Foreign Assets Control.
Okay.
It is an agency within the U.S. Treasury Department. Being placed on their specially designated nationals list, the SDN list, means you are financially radioactive.
Radioactive, wow.
The United States government has completely, entirely blocked you from participating in the global economy.
So it's like an economic excommunication. He's a
Oh.
ghost in the financial machine.
Precisely. American banks will not touch you. Your assets are frozen. You cannot wire money. You cannot buy property legally in the U.S. You cannot hold traditional investments.
That is intense.
And it's contagious. If any American person or business does a single dollar of business with you, they are inviting the federal government to swoop in, freeze their assets, and potentially ruin their lives for violating sanctions.
Wow.
Ashe is completely cut off from legitimate commerce.
Okay, so he's got all this liquid cash from whatever shady thing he does.
Right.
Like the rumor around town is he's an arms dealer, which, you know, casual neighborhood gossip.
Very casual.
But he can't actually use it to make more money in the legitimate banking system. It's just sitting there.
Exactly. Stagnant money is useless to a billionaire.
Makes sense.
He needs a polished, Wall Street fluent guy like Coop to wash the stink off the money. He wants to sneak this $400 million into the legitimate financial system.
Which seems impossible.
But this is where Coop actually proves his worth and shows why Ashe picked him. Coop points out the fatal flaw in Ashe's plan.
What was the flaw?
Coop tells him that if you just magically drop $400 million into a hedge fund out of nowhere, it instantly triggers KYC rules.
Okay, another acronym. KYC. We need the Snark Squad translation.
Know your customer.
Oh, okay.
It's the set of mandatory regulations that banks and investment funds use to verify exactly where incoming money is coming from.
Got it.
It's designed to prevent exactly what Ashe is trying to do, money laundering for cartels, terrorists, and sanctioned arms dealers.
Right.
It's like a TSA checkpoint for cash. You can't just walk through with a suitcase of millions. They're going to open it, inspect it, and demand to know its origin.
Okay, yeah. If you try to hide $400 million inside a $400 million fund, it's like setting off a flare gun in the dark. It's entirely obvious.
Exactly.
So Coop, in a moment of absolute panic brilliance, suggests a different strategy. Dilution.
Dilution is the perfect word for it. Coop explains that to avoid triggering these massive compliance alarms, they can't just invest the money directly.
No.
It has to look like a minor percentage of a much larger, overwhelmingly legitimate portfolio. So Coop suggests inflating the total investment pool to $1.1 billion.
It's like trying to hide a gallon of red dye. If you pour it into a swimming pool, everyone sees it. But if you pour it into the ocean, it just blends into the background.
That's exactly how it works.
So Coop's grand plan is to build an ocean of legitimate money to hide Ashe's red dye.
Yes. If $400 million is grouped in with $700 million of perfectly clean institutional money, The compliance officers at the hedge fund are less likely to scrutinize the individual components of the massive billion-dollar influx.
Because it's just too big.
Exactly. The sheer volume masks the crime.
So let's just track Coop's personal growth here.
Oh, boy.
He traded a midlife crisis, stealing First Edition's burglary hobby for international billion-dollar money laundering. Growth, babes.
But in the absolute worst, most catastrophic way possible.
It's a spectacular, terrifying escalation. And the timeline Ashe gives him.
48 hours?
2 days.
Coop has 2 days to build a $1.1 billion financial architecture. And he isn't even getting his usual 4% commission for structuring a deal like this.
Okay.
His payment for this monumental task is literally just, I will not hand the video over to the police and send you to federal prison for 20 years.
The stress. The cortisol levels in Coop's body must be lethal right now.
I would be having a heart attack.
I need more pizza dip just thinking about the logistics of this. And the ultimate irony of his situation.
What's that?
To save himself from going to prison for burglary, he has to successfully commit a massive federal crime. If he succeeds, he is a federal criminal anyway.
It's a true catch-22.
And the icing on the cake. He has to execute this entire scheme through Jack Bailey's firm.
Yes.
Jack Bailey, his former boss, the man who openly despises him and fired him. It is a recipe for an absolute catastrophic explosion.
It's a pressure cooker. But while Coop is out here dealing with international arms dealers, OFAC sanctions, and multi-million-dollar federal crimes,
Right.
let's pivot to the domestic front. Because while Coop is fighting for his life, his wife Mel is fighting a war over literal crap.
I cannot with Mel. I literally cannot stand her character right now.
She is really going through it.
The juxtaposition of their storylines is giving me whiplash. While Coop is facing 2 decades in a federal penitentiary and sweating through his tailored suits, Mel is fully engaged in a petty, vindictive neighborhood turf war because Brienne's dog peed on her Amazon Prime package.
It is the starkest contrast of narrative stakes I think I've ever seen on television.
It's insane.
You have international money laundering on one side of the marital bed and canine urine on corrugated cardboard on the other.
She is completely unhinged. Babes, let's talk about the absolute betrayal she commits in this episode.
Oh, the Princeton meeting.
Yes, because Mel decides to go behind her own daughter's back.
This bold move.
She schedules a secret meeting with the Princeton admissions officer, Jeff, to forcibly undo Tori's rejection.
Just wouldn't let it go.
Tori specifically sat her down, set a boundary, and said she did not want to go to Princeton. She did not want to rely on the family's nepotism and connections, and Mel just tramples all over her agency.
Well, let's look at the psychology of Mel's headspace before we completely condemn her.
I am already condemning her, but go ahead.
She is navigating menopause, which the show has made a point to highlight. She is dealing with a fractured marriage. She feels completely out of control of her own life, her body, and her environment.
Okay, sure.
The dog peeing on her package isn't about the package. It's about her territory being violated.
Right, I get that.
And regarding Princeton, in her mind, she isn't forcing Tori to attend. She even justifies it by saying she just wanted to rescind the rejection so the option was there. She thinks she's leaving a door unlocked for her daughter's future.
No, absolutely not. I am completely over Mel's menopause-fueled self-centeredness masquerading as maternal care.
It's a bit toxic.
You do not go behind your teenager's back, leverage your wealth and connections, and manipulate a situation when they have clearly established a boundary.
Fair point.
And the fallout is glorious. Tori finds out, and she rightfully drags Mel for absolute filth.
It was a brutal scene.
Tori calls her a massive hypocrite, packs her duffel bags, and leaves. Babes, the way Tori looked at her mother dead in the eyes and said, "Why would I want to be anything like you?"
Ouch.
I gasped. I clutched my pearls. It was devastating.
It was incredibly well acted. And honestly, while I know you are fundamentally opposed to Mel right now, I have to praise the realism the writers injected here.
What's realism?
There is something profoundly, darkly authentic about a wealthy, privileged suburban mom completely losing her grip on reality over a delayed Amazon delivery and Ivy League college admissions.
I mean, yes.
All while her husband is secretly functioning as a financial mule for a cartel. It perfectly illustrates the ultimate privilege bubble. Mel's biggest crisis is domestic embarrassment.
It is a bubble made of titanium.
Mm.
And speaking of things that aren't quite working, can we talk about the dynamic between Amanda Peet and Jon Hamm?
Oh, the chemistry discourse.
I know some of the critics and reviewers online are saying they love their grounded, realistic scenes together, but babes, I'm not feeling the heat. There is no spark.
Yeah.
They give me awkward co-parenting at a tense PTA meeting vibes.
Well, they definitely have a very strained, lived-in exhaustion to their dynamic. There's no fiery passion.
None.
But honestly, I think that fits the narrative. They are separated, they're exhausted by each other, and one of them is secretly a criminal. The lack of chemistry is almost the point.
I guess that makes sense.
But speaking of characters leaning into criminality, the delusion isn't just isolated to Coop. His best friend Barney is actively catching the bug.
Oh my God, Barney. Barney is thriving in his villain era.
He really, truly is. This was the most fascinating character pivot of the episode.
I could not believe it.
Barney finds out about Coop's terrifying arrangement with Ashe. And what does a normal person do in that situation?
You run.
You fold like a cheap lawn chair, you distance yourself, or you anonymously call the FBI. But Barney, he leans all the way in.
He dove in head first.
Fear definitely lives in him, but greed absolutely pays the rent.
He goes to Nick and manipulates him into signing over power of attorney for his gym business.
Just casually.
He is literally, proactively setting up a cash-heavy money laundering scheme through a suburban fitness franchise.
It's wild.
And the psychological effect it has on him. Babes, the confidence boost is absurd. He is suddenly walking around with his chest puffed out.
He feels like a mob boss.
He's bragging that he is finally sexually satisfying his wife, Grace. They are actively getting ready for baby number 3. And he straight up refuses to work for his condescending father-in-law anymore. Crime has cured his emasculation.
The swagger on Barney right now is palpable, but it's incredibly dangerous.
So dangerous.
He thinks he's on top of the world because he's dipped his toe into the underworld. But structurally, in a show like this,
Yeah.
when a side character gets this confident this fast, it means the writers are setting him up for a fall.
Oh, absolutely.
He is absolutely going to get knocked down in the most devastating way possible. He's flying way too close to the sun with wax wings, and Ashe is the sun.
I am terrified for him, but I'm also loving the energy.
Yeah.
And then, on the complete opposite end of the moral spectrum, we have Elena.
Yes, Elena.
Give our girl a round of applause.
Yeah.
She finally gets her U.S. citizenship.
It was a genuinely huge, beautiful, emotional moment.
It really is.
Yeah.
She goes to the ceremony. She celebrates with her family. She gets a legit, non-stolen gift from Coop for once.
Shocking.
And for a brief, shining second, you think, wow, everything is going to change for her. She made it. But the show instantly, violently grounds us. Babes, the reality check was so loud it hurt.
It was rough.
The very next scene, the euphoria fades, and she is right back in her uniform, scrubbing affluent people's toilets and doing their housekeeping.
It was a very grounded, very sobering narrative choice by the director.
It made me so sad.
Achieving a piece of paper, even one as monumentally important as citizenship, changes your legal status. It doesn't instantly change your class reality, your bank account, or the systemic hurdles in front of you.
Exactly.
She is an American citizen now, but
Yeah.
she is still fundamentally trapped in the service economy of this wealthy enclave. It also served another narrative purpose. It makes Coop's decision later in the episode stand out.
How so?
He desperately needed a fall guy, a patsy, to help fix his massive OFAC problem. He briefly considered manipulating Elena and bleeding her dry to save himself, but he pulled back. He didn't cross that specific line.
Which is literally the bare minimum of human decency, Coop.
True.
But fine, we'll take it. He has one shred of morality left. Now, we have to talk about the kids in this show because their storylines are entirely chaotic.
Always.
Ollie tries to teach music at Mayfield. She is so earnest. She wants to be this inspiring educator trying to have these deep philosophical conversations with the students about the soul of music.
Bless her heart.
And the kids stare at her blankly and are basically like, can you just give us the chord progression so we can pass the test?
It's deeply depressing but hilarious.
It really is.
The utter lack of engagement, the transactional nature of how Gen Alpha views education in this wealthy school, it is staggering. They don't want art. They want a Rubio.
Meanwhile, Hunter is hanging out in a dimly lit recording studio with Ashe's daughter, Delilah.
Ah, Delilah.
And babes, we have to talk about the fandom shade. We are going to the dark side of Reddit for a second because the comments were ruthless this week.
Proceed with extreme caution. The internet takes no prisoners.
Are we allowed to say this? You know what, we're saying it. It's the Snark side.
Yeah.
The Reddit comments were absolutely dragging Delilah for talking like a monotone Wednesday Addams and for having entirely too much face filler for a teenager.
The internet is completely ruthless, yes. But, analytically, the observation was incredibly sharp.
You think?
The casting and styling choices for Delilah are very deliberate. The deadpan, monotone delivery, the complete lack of effect in her voice, the manufactured aesthetic rebellion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It perfectly encapsulates the wealthy teen who has seen too much of the dark side of the world but fundamentally understands nothing about consequences trope.
Right.
And her actions prove it. She is actively, methodically trying to get Hunter to dump his girlfriend Morgan.
Yes. And she doesn't even seem to genuinely like Hunter that much.
Not at all.
She's doing it just for the aesthetic of stealing a boyfriend. It is pure, unfiltered, toxic teen drama. I live for it.
It's fascinating because the teen drama perfectly mirrors the adult drama in this town.
Wait, you're so right.
Everyone, Coop, Mill, Barney, Delilah, is just taking things that do not belong to them simply because they are bored and feel entitled to the thrill.
That is such a good point. The entitlement is the true disease of this neighborhood.
It kind of is.
And speaking of things that had me completely losing my mind and throwing things at my screen, the fake out.
Absolute audacity of the writers to pull that trick in episode 3.
Babes, listen to me. I was sitting here, cozy on my couch, wine in one hand, a cracker loaded with pizza dip in the other.
Painting a picture.
Coop is sitting in his dark living room watching a classic movie. Suddenly, the cops start banging on the front door.
It was so tense.
The red and blue lights are flashing through the windows. They bust the door down. They tackle him. They arrest him. Ash is standing there in the shadows.
A full nightmare.
It is a full, visceral nightmare scenario. I literally gasped so hard, I dropped my cracker. I was like, they caught him already.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up. They played us. It was a dream sequence.
It was undeniably a cheap cinematic trick, the classic. It was all a dream trope, but I will argue that it was highly effective.
Right.
It perfectly visualizes the psychological toll this OFAC money laundering scheme is taking on Coop's nervous system.
Yeah.
He is cracking under the pressure, the walls are closing in, and his subconscious is screaming at him.
I am cracking under the pressure of watching him. The mess is astronomical, which perfectly transitions us into the debate portion of the show. It is time to get into the segments.
All right, Spark Squad, time for segment 1, most suspicious behavior out of everyone in this episode who is not adding up.
I have to call out Lou.
The fence.
The fence.
Yeah.
The glamorous antique dealer. Her timeline makes absolutely no sense. A rare first Didashan House of Mirth goes missing from a billionaire's private collection, and within, 24 hours, she has already magically offloaded it for $200,000.
It was very fast.
And she absolutely knew it was Ashe buying it. She had to. She facilitated the lunch meeting. She is playing 4D chess, collecting commissions on both sides, while Coop is playing Candy Crush. She is playing them all.
Lou is definitely holding cards we haven't seen yet. Her calmness is terrifying, but I am going to push back and call out Ashe's perfectly timed setup.
Ashe, why?
Think about the logistics of his plan. Did he map this out from the absolute moment Coop broke in? Or is he just the most terrifying, adaptive improviser on the planet?
That's a good question.
Let's look at the timeline. He sees the security video. He immediately recognizes the leverage he has over a Wall Street asset.
Right.
He uses Lou as a proxy to buy his own book back, creating a fake debt. And then he uses that manufactured $150,000 debt as the fulcrum to force Coop to move $400 million of cartel money.
That's brilliant.
That kind of tactical, on-the-fly thinking isn't just smart, it is borderline sociopathic.
Oh, he is absolutely a high-functioning sociopath.
Yeah.
He is a sociopath with a great smile, custom suits, and a 918 Porsche.
Exactly.
It's terrifying because you want to trust him, but he will destroy your life without blinking.
Which brings us to segment 2, biggest drama starter. Who is stirring everything in this episode?
Oh, this is the easiest question of the day. Mel.
Really?
Mel is the undisputed biggest drama starter. Let's look at the facts. Going behind your teenagers back to the Princeton Admissions Committee, when they explicitly told you not to,
Yeah, that's bad.
you are actively asking for your daughter to pack her bags and hate you. She didn't just casually stir the pot, babes.
How'd she do?
She stirred the pot, burned the meal, set the entire kitchen on fire, and then blamed the smoke alarm for making too much noise. And for what? Her own ego? Her own need to feel like a successful mother?
I'm gonna counter that hard.
Bring it.
Mel's drama, while destructive, is contained to her domestic sphere. What about Delilah?
Oh, the teenager.
Let's analyze the teenager. She is actively, methodically convincing Hunter to dump Morgan, not because she's madly in love with Hunter, but just for the thrill of the hunt.
Yes, the aesthetic.
She is a teenager playing with real human emotions just for the aesthetic of being a mysterious homewrecker. That is teenage drama at its absolute most toxic.
That's a toxic.
And it has wider ripples. Hunter is going to blow up his entire social life, ruin a good relationship, and cause chaos at school, all because the edgy girl with the recording studio batted an eyelash and spoke in a monotone voice.
Wait, you are right. The calculated nature of Delilah's manipulation is chilling. The youth are terrifying.
Very terrifying.
Fine, I will concede that Delilah's drama is more malicious.
Okay, moving on to segment 3, most relatable moment. What happened in this episode that had you pointing at the screen and saying, that would literally be me?
Knowing you, your answer is going to be purely emotional and highly dramatic.
You know me so well, and you are entirely correct. For me, it was Tori.
I knew it. Tori packing her bags, calling her mother out on her hypocrisy, and moving into her dad's house, just to spite her nagging mother.
Such a dramatic exit.
Babes, the urge to flee when your mom thinks she knows your life better than you do, so incredibly real.
I suppose.
Sometimes you just have to grab a duffel bag, dramatically walk out the front door, and go sleep on a slightly uncomfortable couch where there are no rules and no expectations. The vacation parent wins. The spite relocation is a deeply relatable human urge.
Very on brand for you to relate to the dramatic scorched earth exit.
Thank you. What's yours?
For me, my relatable moment is entirely realistic and grounded. It's Elena.
Oh, Elena.
Achieving a massive life-altering goal, finally getting her citizenship after years of struggle, feeling that immense rush of joy, having a beautiful party with her family, feeling like the world is full of possibility.
It was so sweet.
And then the alarm goes off on Monday morning, and you realize you still have to put on your uniform, commute, and go scrub someone else's toilet to pay the bills.
Yes.
The grind of capitalism does not care about your personal milestones. It is the most relatable, devastating truth of adulthood. The world keeps spinning, and rent is still due.
Oof. Wow. The reality check on that is heavy. I need another sip of wine after that profound truth bomb.
Cheers.
Okay, final segment to lighten the mood. Segment 4. Who would you trust?
Be honest.
In real life, if the chips were down out of this entire cast of absolute degenerates and narcissists, who are you choosing to have your back? Let's debate.
Analytically speaking, looking purely at loyalty and utility, I am choosing Barney.
Barney, are you out of your mind?
Hear me out.
The man who just eagerly set up a fake gym accounting scheme the second he smelled crime.
Put yourself in Barney's shoes. He finds out his best friend is literally a burglar who has managed to get caught up with an international cartel arms dealer.
Right.
Does Barney call the cops? No. Does he run away and protect his own family? No. He leaned in.
He sure did.
He immediately set up a gym money laundering scheme to protect his friend's operation, and he got his swagger back in the process. He didn't judge Coop, he enabled him.
That's true. He didn't judge.
He is the absolute definition of a ride-or-die friend. If I am burying a body or hiding offshore accounts from the IRS, I want Barney in my corner running the spreadsheets.
Okay, logistically, that is a fair point.
Yeah.
He is undeniably loyal, even if his moral compass is completely broken. But I'm choosing Sam.
Sam.
Let's talk about Sam.
Yeah.
She went on a date with Ash. She's out there eating her pizza, completely unfazed by his wealth, and she straight up interrogated him.
She was bold.
She asked the hard, uncomfortable questions about his shipping containers. She has amazing instincts. She isn't blinded by the money or the charm offensive, and she knows inherently that something is off about him.
She's sharp.
I want a friend who can look a charismatic billionaire dead in the eye and say, "So what exactly is in the boxes, sir?" She sees through the facade.
I will concede that point. Sam appears to be the only person on this entire show with a fully functioning prefrontal cortex and an intact survival instinct.
Truly. Babes, what an afternoon. We survived the self-care chaos. We manifested our aesthetic concert dreams. We unpacked our deep, dark, lingering library trauma. And we fully embraced our luxury delusion. We covered it all.
And we managed to navigate the complex, terrifying realities of international OFAC sanctions, KYC compliance, and hedge fund money laundering without completely losing our minds. Barely, but we did it.
Barely is the operative word. But now we need to hear from you. The Snark Squad, you are the third host of this show. Are you coming to the Drake Candlelight concert in May? Because we absolutely need to coordinate a squad section in the back row.
And please, we'd encourage you to trauma dump in the comments. What is your most chaotic, unhinged childhood memory? Did you hoard chapter books under your bed? Did you steal and swap library CDs? Let us know. We want to read them all.
And babes, are we entering our book talk era or not? Are we buying the fake aesthetic wire glasses? Let us know in the comments if we should commit to the bit.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on whatever platform you are listening on. Send your submissions, your messy stories, and again, if anyone has a spare Rolex lying around for our method-acting luxury mindset, the DMs are always open.
Send this to your coziest, messiest friend. Thank you to the Snark Squad for spiraling with us for the last hour.
Stay shady.
Stay iconic.
And we'll see you on the Snark side.
Wait, actually, before we completely log off and finish this wine, I want to leave you with one final, deeply unsettling thought about that IPRO camera trap.
Oh, lay it on us.
We've spent a lot of time talking about how Ashe didn't specifically set those hardwired cameras for Coop. They were already there, recording everything all the time.
Right.
But think about what that means for the rest of the season. If Ashe has his entire life, his entire sprawling estate, meticulously hardwired to record every single movement and conversation, what else did Coop capture on camera that he doesn't realize he has yet? What other secrets are sitting on that server? Because in a world built entirely on blackmail and leverage, the person with the most footage usually wins. Sleep on that.